Welcome back to the news at 10. Emergency services have listed 2,500 people as missing following Hurricane Dorian's devastation on the islands. Authorities have said the death toll could be much higher than the current 50. The number of missing is yet to be checked against those in shelters. Let's get more international news now. Here's Juliana Olainka with Around the World in 5.
Good evening from the Channel's newsroom in London. The US President Donald Trump has vowed to hit the Taliban harder than ever before. His comments came on the 18th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Nearly 3,000 people were killed when hijacked airplanes were crashed into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon and a field in Pennsylvania. During a speech, the president repeated his disputed claim that he went to Ground Zero shortly after the attacks.
Soon after, I went down to Ground Zero with men who worked for me to try to help in any little way that we could.
He also brought up his cancelled meeting with the Taliban, which was due to take place this weekend.
I called them off when I learned that they had killed a great American soldier from Puerto Rico and 11 other innocent people. They thought they would use this attack to show strength, but actually what they showed is unrelenting weakness. The last 4 days, we have hit our enemy harder than they have ever been hit before, and that will continue. And if for any reason they come back to our country, we will go wherever they are and use power the likes of which the United States has never used before. And I'm not even talking about nuclear power. They will never have seen anything like what will happen to them.
Critics hit out at the president on Twitter after he posted a photo with the words, "We will never forget." One person writing, "Except when you invite the Taliban to Camp David 3 days before the 9/11 anniversary." British lawmakers are demanding Parliament be recalled after Scotland's highest civil court ruled its suspension was unlawful. 3 judges found there were 2 principal reasons for prorogation. First, to prevent the Parliament holding the executive to account, and second, to allow the pursuit of a no-deal Brexit policy without interference. The government says it's disappointed by the decision and will appeal to the UK Supreme Court.
Now, for every moment Parliament remains prorogued, the British government are breaking the law. So we, as politicians, are calling for Parliament to be recalled so that we can get on with scrutinising what this government is up to in relation to Brexit.
These are interesting times when courts rule in favour of democracy against a Prime Minister who wants to shut down our democracy.
The shadow Brexit Secretary, Keir Starmer, accused the Prime Minister of misleading the Queen and country.
We will work each and every day of this shutdown to enforce the law, to defeat Johnson and to bring him down. Prime Minister, you can hide from Parliament all you like, but when you return, we will be ready for you.
The body of Robert Mugabe has been repatriated. Zimbabwe's former president died in Singapore last week at the age of 95. A private flight carrying his coffin touched down in Harare, where a state funeral will be held on Saturday. His family is fighting a government plan to bury him at the National Heroes Acre Monument, saying they want his final resting place to be in his home village.
It's a very sad day that we have lost the revolutionary icon. But as Zimbabweans, we came here to celebrate his life.
Arab nations have condemned an Israeli plan to annex a third of the occupied West Bank. It comes after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised to apply Israeli sovereignty over the Jordan Valley and northern Dead Sea if he's returned to office for a record 5th term. Palestinians say the move would be illegal.
How can someone imagine me having a viable Palestinian state without my 37 kilometers on the Dead Sea? And when they speak about my prosperity is not going to come through donations from Ireland and Britain and France and the States. My prosperity will come if I can control my natural resources, my shores in the Dead Sea, my shores in the Mediterranean, my water, my land, which are literally, I'm using the term, stolen by the Israelis and their successors.
2 boats have been intercepted in the English Channel just a day after 86 migrants attempted the crossing. The figure is thought to be a record number for a single day. More than 20 men, women and children were taken to a makeshift processing station at the port of Dover for medical and other checks. And finally, a famous Russian ballet has been given a Chinese twist. An interpretation of Igor Stravinsky's Rite of Spring is being performed on the stage of the Bolshoi Theatre, featuring the aesthetics of Chinese and Tibetan Buddhist traditions. The performance will continue its run in Moscow until the start of November. And that's your international news around the world in 5.
Thanks a lot, Juliana. Let's cross over to some sports. Here's Olumide Mokwoli.
Thank you, Ijoma. Hello and welcome to Sports News. The Nigeria Squash Federation has selected 8 players for the 2019 Men's World Team Championship in the United States from December the 14th to the 22nd. A total of 22 players grouped into 2 participated in a week-long open trial and competed against each other in a round-robin format at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja. The players selected include Sadiq Taiwo, Anas Adegoke, Gabriel Olufumi Layo, and Femi Shadara. Valencia have sacked head coach Marcelino just 3 matches into the new Spanish La Liga season. The 54-year-old was dismissed on Wednesday following a reported falling out with the club owner Peter Lim. Marcelino was appointed as Valencia boss in May 2017, but his position came under threat 12 months ago after a difficult start to the 2018-2019 season. Staying with football, Barcelona midfielder Arda Turan has received a suspended jail sentence of nearly 3 years for firing a gun in a hospital after a fight with a singer. Turan, currently on loan to Istanbul club, got into a brawl with Berke Sahin last year, which ended with a broken nose for the pop star. The 32-year-old was sentenced for firing a gun to cause panic, illegal possession of weapons, and intentional injury. That's it on Sports News. Ijoma, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Olumide. And the main news again. After months of legal battle, judges at the Presidential Election Tribunal today unanimously affirmed President Muhammadu Buhari as Nigeria's duly elected president in the February the 23rd presidential election. The judges dismissed the petitions filed by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate in its entirety. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Ijoma Bunyato. Do have a good night.